Good evening, how are we all doing? Welcome to another video of mine. Well, if I wasn't feeling a mix of emotions before, and I certainly am now, this is the second recording I've done of this video, because the last time I did it, my audio was fucked. So 25 minutes just down the drain. So, Rovers have parted company with Ben Garner. On a results perspective, are we really surprised? 31 games in charge according to Wikipedia, 6 wins, 10 draws, 15 defeats, a win percentage of 19%. Poor. Rovers have issued a very, very short statement this evening, wishing Garner all the best, and say that Widrington will be in charge for the next couple of games, or in temporary charge. Tommy Widrington, will be in charge. So, Garner is out the door. Let's dissect this a little bit, shall we? So, he comes in last year, he tried tweaking a few things, and it failed. Simply put, it failed. Just 2 wins from December the 14th, or Boxing Day, if you like, to the end of the season, before it was curtailed. I don't think Rovers would have gone down last year had the season carried on. I think the bottom 3, technically, were so poor, Rovers would have just been okay. But this season was a hard reset for Rovers, not just on the pitch, but off of it as well. We're led to believe that Garner had a big hand in the training ground. He had a lot of of input on that. It looked like he did more than just manage the first team. He wanted to get involved with the club itself, and that was great. He had that passion in him. And to a man, like, I've never met Garner, which is, I think he's the only Rovers manager I've never actually had a conversation with. He seemed lovely. He seemed like a really top bloke, a top gent. But as a football manager, you can answer that one. I was going to come up and do a match recap from today, because today was shocking. Today was absolutely shocking, from start to finish, with a couple of bright sparks in between. And in the whole of my last recording, I didn't mention the goals we conceded today, the woeful defending, and the unbelievably poor goalkeeping. So let's dip our toes amongst all of that. So, we play the game today, as we always have done this season, barring perhaps one game against Walsall, who were in the division below, by the way. We play the whole game on the back foot, backs against the wall, like we did under Graham Coughlin. The exact same way. Josh Howe never got forward in that game today. Not of any note. Nor did Ali Koike. And I'm not gonna drag any of the players over the coals. I am maybe more so than others here. But Ali, I can't give him any stick because he's barely played any football over the last 6 months. To ask him to come in against a good team like Fleetwood, he's going to struggle. And I think that's quite concerning to me, because we've had 2 games now against 2 decent teams. Fleetwood not quite as good as they have been last season or the season before. We played Peterborough, and Dave Tutonda got absolute, I think it was Hull, might have been Hull, or it was either Hull or Peterborough, and Dave Tutonda got absolutely destroyed. And we play Fleetwood, and Ali Koike has a poor game as well. So even though we've got the players in at left back, when they come up against the good teams, they seem to struggle. But let's look at Rovers this season. We can go on about last season as much as we like. That's gone now. Let's look at the present and the past somewhat. This season, okay, Rovers, 5 defeats. 4 of those, you'd kind of expect it in a way. Not saying that is weak. Oh yeah, we'll take losing every week. Yeah, fuck it. But and apologies for any colourful language I'm going to be using here. We're not saying we're going to take losing every week, because that's no fun, okay? But, the teams we lost to, Ipswich, they're up there. Peterborough, Hull, they're up there. You expect it, yeah? We didn't expect to get anything against Sunderland, and they're up there. So, apart from today, the games we've lost, you kind of understand. But I wanted to sort of look at some things from Garner. Oh, and by the way, the players aren't getting off scot-free here today. It ain't the players that are going forward. It's the ones further back that are letting the rest of the side down. So, Garner, to me, it felt like he never had any sense of I say bottle as if he's weak-minded, but yeah, it's like he hasn't got any bottle. He never had any bottle to change it, apart from today. And you know what? It somewhat changed in for the first 10 or 15 minutes. Hey, we didn't do too badly because we were playing with two up front or one supporting the other. That first half was atrocious. The young players that like the ones like McCormick and ones like JML, who I know he hasn't played much lately. Kilgore to a lesser extent, he's not played much this season. The younger ones, Ali Koikeith, players like that, those I can forgive. I can't give Brandon Hanlon any stick because he doesn't get the fucking ball. I cannot recall a striker having as little touches on the ball as Hanlon had today. I can't recall it. And someone please tell me if Hanlon had a chance. Hanlon's not the best striker in the world, but when he's on form, he's a good player. He'll get you 10 or 12 goals. I doubt he's going to be a 20-goal-a-season striker, but I'll be very surprised if he doesn't hit double figures. I think double figures is a good target for Hanlon because he should have good players running off of him. And we have got good players on paper. So is it a case of the manager's tactics not working? Or is it the players aren't good enough? And it's a combo of both, I think. So, Garner can, he can sit there and blame the referees. I'm sure he did today because quite a few people on social media were. Why? Fuck knows. I will say though, right, I gave Garner a second chance this season, okay? I do find it odd timing. I really do find it strange. I mean, maybe Rovers thought, December is a busy month again. October was a busy month and we didn't do too badly in it. But, we've hit a bit of rocky form. We're playing Saturday, Tuesday again throughout December. It's always busy around Christmas. Is it going to be a case of where they kind of think, well, maybe we don't give them until January in case a new manager comes in and does the same thing that Garner did? Maybe they want to give the new manager, a couple of months or a few weeks there to look at the squad and go, right, this is what I want for January. Because I expect Rovers, this isn't a knee-jerk decision. This isn't like when Coughlin left and he kind of left us high and dry there. This isn't a knee-jerk decision. Rovers have been thinking about this for a few weeks there, I'm sure. But if you're thinking about this over the last couple of weeks, that's early on in the season. I really do think there's more to it than this. Because to make a decision like that, especially if Rovers get a replacement in the next week. If Rovers have a replacement in before next weekend's game, they were thinking about this for a while. But I just don't understand why you let someone buy as many players as you have and then get rid of him after 10, 11 games. I know it's not been great, but where did the board of directors really expect Rovers to be? Seriously. And I want some feedback on this because I thought Rovers would be kind of 14th, 13th upwards. I do find it strange. Rovers are only 2 points off the top half of the table. You get a couple of results together. It doesn't look too bad after that. So I do think it was a bit of a strange decision. I don't necessarily totally disagree with it, nor do I agree with it 100%. I'm in the middle, as I felt with Garner the whole way through. I felt in the middle with Garner since the season began, but I supported him. I never wanted him to lose his job. It's never nice to see anyone lose their job. But in the grand scheme of things, it was probably the right call. I just don't understand the timing of it. Look, it's the third time this season we conceded more than 3 goals. It's the second time we've conceded 4. We're not creating enough. We're not fluid enough. We're not strong enough at the back. And this is what I'm going to come round to today, okay? Now, there is a reason why Jordi van Staffelhoff is a backup goalkeeper, okay? Because he is not good enough to be a first-team goalkeeper. That today was shambolic out there. But it's amazing because he'll let in a calamitous goal, twice by the way, but make a really odd save That is like a really weird. It's like he's playing hole in the wall. The amount of shapes and sizes this man make and save the ball is so weird. I kind of raised my eyebrow when we signed him in the first place, because we didn't sign Jacola at the time, so it was only Jordi and Andre Jr. I thought, really? You're kidding me? This screams backup keeper. Why have we signed him? So he was poor today. Now the defence. Max Amer, he's been the better out of the three. He's still been poor, but he is not captain material, okay? So far, he's not captain material. Keane Harris, okay? Now, I stood up for Harris over the last few weeks. He was getting a bit of stick, and people were saying he should be dropped for Kilgore. I said, no. I said, Harris, he's all right. He's a bit hoofball, but he's all right. But he was poor today. Jack Baldwin, okay, he's come in, he's had 2 injury hit seasons there, and he looks completely out of sorts. If you're going to play a back three, put Kilgore in there with Harris and Amer. I said this throughout the summer. I still think that's the best back three. But don't play a back three because it doesn't work. We play with a defensive formation that can't defend. Answers on a postcard, please. So I can sit here and say that the defence is poor and Van Stappershoff isn't good enough. You know, I don't need to tell everyone that. But this is just how I'm feeling. And I feel like Rovers as a club there, they had all this optimism in the summer, new players coming in, and I don't think Garner knew what to do. He looked lost. And I think bringing in Jack Mashur was a mistake because he's not got any experience. He's had less experience than Garner. I just think it was baffling to me to bring in Jack Mashur. Like, because I'm not going to hate on the guy, but I just think it was strange. So, in terms of a footballing aspect, I'm not surprised, but I guess I am a little bit. So, let's look ahead of who Rovers might appoint. Now, I'm also going to look into this and say, well, I think Rovers need to employ someone with a similar mould to Garner, or someone who has achieved success. And I don't mean an old school manager, but I mean Rovers, to use this phrase, I think have to break the bank for a good manager. Paul Cook said he's ready to return to management. Would he relocate back down south again? Who knows? I'd have Paul Cook in a heartbeat. The Cowley brothers I'd have, and Graham Alexander I'd have. The Cowley brothers might be difficult to get because it's 2 people. But I guess if you get rid of, the coaching staff out there at the moment, it sort of pushes the reset button on who they can bring in for coaches and whatnot. But those are the 3 I'd have. I would not go for Holloway. I know Pulis is back in a job, but people are saying Tony Pulis and all these old names, okay? And I will say this as well. The Rovers fan base have got to back the next manager. I feel there was a portion of the fan base that didn't. They never got behind Garner because he wasn't who they wanted. People wanted, last year, people wanted Holloway. But, it's not always good to go back to what you know. And I just feel like the Rovers fan base have got to get behind the next manager, even if it's not who you want. I warmed to Coughlin in the end now. I was always behind him, but I just wasn't quite sure if he was the man to take us forward. But every time we lost under Coughlin, it was Coughlin out. There was someone I know, okay, that wanted Garner out after 4 games last season, okay? After 4 games, it was the Doncaster game, before he took his leave of absence there. And I thought to yourself, really? But that's how it happens. So Rovers on the search for a new manager. It's good to be back doing videos, man. I just wanted to let my feelings out because the Rovers players, they've got to shape up a bit. They're all young. Yes, they'll learn from it. I just hope they can bounce back stronger. I hope Garner finds success in his next job because he deserves a job. It's not nice to see anyone unemployed, especially in the lead up to Christmas. But this is just how I'm feeling. I think Rovers really need to look at themselves and think we need to go back to basics here and try and win the next game. And it's so strange as well because Rovers probably before the whole game weren't doing too badly. We were mid-table. We only lost a couple of times. Like I said, I think there's more to it than this. I really do. I really think there's more to it. So I will see you all very, very soon. Have a good rest of your weekend. I will speak to you all next week. I'm probably going to watch the Rovers Chelsea game the next day, so I'll do a recap Wednesday or Thursday, whenever the game's played there. So I will speak to you all very, very soon. Have a good rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye bye.